Good morning, guys. It's October 18th, 2025, and I'm out here doing some antelope hunting in Montana. I just saw my first group of antelope, so that's good. The sun's just coming up. I always like to get out early antelope hunting because I feel like you kind of beat the other antelope hunters, and usually when the sun's coming up, I do see the antelope moving around, but a little different this trip. I'm solo hunting. This is my first Western solo hunt. I mean, if you're gonna do a Western solo hunt, I feel like antelope's gonna be the easiest, but self-filming might be a little bit of a challenge, but we'll see how it goes. I have 2 days to fill this tag. It was an unexpected draw, to say the least. Like I said, I drew it in 2023. I didn't think I had the points to draw, but you know, you don't draw if you don't apply. I think one of the weird thing about antelope is sometimes it's not the most dominant buck with the biggest horns around. A lot of times the biggest horns they get is when they're 2.5, 3.5 years old, and that also lets them rebound really quickly. We'll see what we can find. I'm going to be putting a lot of miles on the pickup today. There's a lot of playing the public-private game, ton of tag numbers out here, so I'll see what's around. Opening weekend was last weekend, and the general deer season opens up here in Montana next weekend, so I'm kind of hoping I'm kind of in the in-between and not a lot of hunters are out, but hopefully I can find one that made it through opening weekend and he just happens to be on public land. We'll see what happens. Buck down there. Oof. Not finding anything. I've not seen a single antelope since that first group. Ran into some closed off roads that we were driving the last time, but I could still glass back in there, and haven't seen one. Very weird. Well, finally saw a okay buck. Definitely the best buck we've seen, but yeah, I don't know. It's a little frustrating. Put 200 miles on and saw, 3 does? And then I did see another group, but they're so flinchy. God dang. I saw another group. It was like a mile and a half away. I parked the pickup, pulled them up in the binoculars, and it looked like just a little buck with like 10 does, but they ran up over the hill. So I never even got footage of those, but I mean, I'm not kidding you, it was like a mile and a half away. I could barely see them bare-eyed. And I have not seen many antelope. I'm kind of just hoping I come across where a lot of them are hanging out. That's kind of what happened to me in 2023, but I was scouting, so I had a few days, and then all of a sudden kind of ran into where they were all hanging out, so hopefully that happens again. But wow, guys, this is tough. This is tough. Just looks like he has clubs on his head. Wow, that's a big buck. Well, I found a really good buck. He just happens to be on private, but not far from public. And they are going towards public, so if there's just some way he could work his way over there. Oh man, I think that would be a personal best buck for me. He looks like a dandy. Well, that group is not gonna go feed onto public or travel to public or anything like that. But the only thing this tells me is I'm seeing more antelope over here. It's just off, actually, the unit boundary. So I'm starting to think maybe the unit that I got's getting hammered and they're kind of going over there. So I might go up and check some of the public land pieces that are closer to the unit boundary in hopes that the other hunters aren't going to those, because it just seems like other guys don't like to go up close to the unit boundary, and sometimes that's the case anyway. But yeah, there's a big group out in this field here, and then the group with the really nice one in it. It was fun to actually see some antelope again. My heart started going when they kind of were working their way towards public. I was like, if I sit here and they get to public land, I am gonna be so happy, but not today. I pinned them on Onyx, so I'll check them tomorrow, but I just don't think they're gonna, if anything, I think they'd work towards this group down here, but never know. See what we can go find. Well, I kind of found some antelope on public, and some that are just barely off public. There's one buck that's kind of with this group over here. I'm not sure he doesn't look the tallest, but he's probably the best we've seen on public. But there's a ton of does down in there. There's a couple more on the side hill behind them. There was a mule deer buck hanging out over here, and I'll tell you right now that I'd probably shoot that one with my general tag. I think I just glassed up a shooter. Maybe he's all by himself out there, kind of looking at all these does. If he came down to all these does, I think I might try to go get him. Oh, it's so tough. He's so far away. The one look I got at him though was so tough to tell. Well, the sun is just setting now. I'm on my way back, or starting to head back, I guess. But kind of a slow day one for sure for as far as antelope hunting goes, but a little excitement at the end, seeing that really nice buck, in my opinion, on private that maybe has a chance of working its way over, but I'm not getting my hopes up. But we also have a big group of antelope with a couple potential shooters, and I think that'll be my plan B. I think in the morning I'll go see if I can find that really big one. Luckily those two spots are really close to each other, but geez, I'm sick of being in this dang pickup, I'll tell you that for free. Holy smokes. I put the Onyx tracker on this morning. Oh man, I don't know if you can see that, but 307 miles, and I started that when the sun came up, so I think it's 100 miles back to where I'm staying, so gonna be about 500 miles today putting on. It's a bit stout, but I had to cross off a lot of area. Jeez, I struggled to find antelope today, but that's the way it goes. Last time I had this tag, I had like 2.5 days to scout, then opening day Jalen and I killed a good buck, and this time with it being the second weekend, it just a lot more hunters. Seems like the antelope are off the public, and maybe the numbers are down, or maybe the wind had something to do with it too, but I don't know. We're gonna give her a good old college try tomorrow. I might end up shooting whatever one I think's bigger out of the two that we saw this evening. The one had some really nice prongs, and I haven't looked very closely at the all-in footage of the one that was laying back up on the hill. It'd be kind of cool to see those, and hopefully they're still on public or work their way to public or just off that field. The field's private, but where all the does were was public, and then there was some more around there, and a lot of antelope around there, so that's good. That'll be a good plan B spot if that big boy doesn't look like he's gonna work his way on public, and I really doubt he will, but it is definitely worth checking out because he's big enough to go check out. But alright guys, well, thanks for watching today. It was slow, but I tried to show you as many of the antelope as I could, and hopefully the footage isn't too shaky because it was windy today. It was tough. Even when I mounted the camera on the window, it just seemed shaky. So calmer day tomorrow and a little warmer, so let's see if we can get it done tomorrow.